There isn't any time to waste then, is there?
It's time to get ready for a thrilling new chapter in the Sherlock Holmes saga. After more than a decade since the last film, Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law are set to return as the iconic detective duo in Sherlock Holmes 3. With a fresh storyline and potential new characters, this highly anticipated sequel promises to deliver an exciting, modern twist on the beloved classic. Here's everything we know so far about the next adventure in this blockbuster franchise. As you might know, Sherlock Holmes 3 is set to continue the story from 2011's Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows, bringing back Robert Downey Jr. as the iconic detective and Jude Law as Dr. John Watson. The first two films, directed by Guy Ritchie, raked in a whopping $1 billion at the global box office on a combined production budget of just $215 million, showcasing the franchise's profitability for Warner Brothers. It's been over a decade since the second installment, and even though Sherlock Holmes 3 was confirmed shortly after A Game of Shadows, its release date remains a mystery. The third film has been mired in development hell, with various writers taking stabs at a script. Despite these delays, there have been updates trickling in, so there's plenty to talk about regarding Sherlock Holmes 3. That said, despite the prolonged silence surrounding Sherlock Holmes 3, recent developments suggest that the much-anticipated third installment is still very much on the cards. Susan Downey, the producer spearheading the project, offered a glimmer of hope to eager fans. While concrete updates remain elusive, Downey assured enthusiasts that the project is still very much alive in our hearts. She emphasized the importance of finding the right story direction for the film. In her recent remarks, Downey highlighted the undeniable chemistry between Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law, the dynamic duo portraying Holmes and Watson. Their on-screen magic has left a lasting impression, fueling the desire to reunite them on the big screen. However, Downey stressed the need for a compelling narrative, stating, "There needs to be a really strong reason. It needs to be a great story, and we do have some things in the works." Amidst the anticipation for Sherlock Holmes 3, the spotlight has also shifted to the prequel series, Young Sherlock, helmed by none other than Guy Ritchie. With attention once again drawn to the blockbuster movie franchise, fans can expect the excitement to continue building as both projects unfold. As for Young Sherlock, the titular character will be portrayed by hero Fiennes Tiffin, promising a fresh take on the beloved detective's origins. With these developments on the horizon, it's evident that the Sherlock Holmes universe is poised for a thrilling resurgence. Sherlock Holmes 3 has been a long time coming. The sequel was first confirmed back in 2011, shortly after the release of A Game of Shadows. However, progress on the project was slow, with years passing before any significant developments took place. It wasn't until 2018 that things finally began to kick into gear again, as reported by Collider. In July 2019, fans received a glimmer of hope when it was announced that Dexter Fletcher, known for his work on Rocketman, had been brought on board to direct Sherlock Holmes 3. This news was met with excitement, but unfortunately, it seems to have been the last major update on the project. Curiously, no official reason was given for Ritchie's replacement, leaving fans to speculate about the change in direction for the film. Warner Brothers then enlisted Chris Brancato, co-creator of Netflix's Narcos, to pen the script for Sherlock Holmes 3. With Fletcher attached as director, a release window for 2021 was initially set. However, as fate would have it, the COVID-19 pandemic hit in 2020, disrupting production schedules across the industry. As a result, the projected release date came and went without any sign of the film hitting theaters. Since then, there's been little to no news regarding the progress of Sherlock Holmes 3. The lack of updates has left fans wondering whether the project has been shelved indefinitely or if it's simply been put on hold until circumstances are more favorable. Despite the uncertainty, enthusiasts remain hopeful that momentum will pick up once again and bring the long-awaited sequel to fruition. As of now, Warner Brothers has remained tight-lipped about any potential release dates or production updates for Sherlock Holmes 3. It's unclear whether the studio is actively working behind the scenes to revive the project or if it's been placed on the back burner indefinitely. The only certainty is that fans are eagerly awaiting any news about the fate of their beloved detective duo. In the meantime, aficionados of the Sherlock Holmes franchise can revisit the first two installments, both available for purchase or rental on various digital platforms. From the original Sherlock Holmes released in 2009 to its sequel, A Game of Shadows, fans can immerse themselves in the thrilling mysteries and dynamic performances of Robert Downey Jr. and Jude Law as the iconic detective duo. As for the cast of Sherlock Holmes 3, it hasn't been officially confirmed, but it's highly anticipated that the stars of the first two movies in the trilogy will reprise their iconic roles. Robert Downey Jr. is expected to return as Sherlock Holmes, bringing his charismatic and eccentric portrayal of the legendary detective back to the big screen. Jude Law is likely to come back as Dr. John Watson, Holmes' loyal sidekick and the voice of reason in their dynamic partnership. The rest of the cast remains unclear, and much will depend on the direction the story takes. While other cast members from the previous films might return, their involvement is yet to be confirmed. With that being said, what will be the story of Sherlock Holmes 3, and in which case will Sherlock crack next? Whatever the narrative of Sherlock Holmes 3 ends up being, it was clearly set up by the ending of Sherlock Holmes: A Game of Shadows. After successfully thwarting Professor Moriarty's plans to spark a war in Europe, Holmes appeared to sacrifice himself to eliminate Moriarty and protect Watson and his new wife, Mary. However, it was revealed that Holmes survived his fall and was unharmed, leaving the door wide open for a third installment. This new story doesn't necessarily have to follow Sir Arthur Conan Doyle's writings, giving the filmmakers creative freedom to craft a fresh and engaging plot. While nothing is certain yet, it's assumed that the story for Sherlock Holmes 3 will revolve around a mystery that not only tests Holmes and Watson's wits, but also places them in mortal danger. The most likely scenario is an amalgamation of Conan Doyle's works and modern Hollywood creativity to revitalize the franchise and keep audiences on the edge of their seats. One possible direction for the story could involve the return of familiar characters and the introduction of new intriguing foes. Given the rich tapestry of Conan Doyle's literary universe, the filmmakers have a plethora of characters and plot lines to draw from. For instance, characters like Irene Adler or Mycroft Holmes could make a comeback, adding depth and continuity to the series. New villains, perhaps inspired by Conan Doyle's lesser-known antagonists, or entirely original creations, could provide fresh challenges for Holmes and Watson to overcome. Another interesting angle could be exploring the personal lives of Holmes and Watson. In previous films, the dynamic between the two characters has been central to the story. Sherlock Holmes 3 could delve deeper into their friendship, examining how their adventures have affected their personal lives and relationships. This could add an emotional layer to the film, making the stakes even higher. And that's a wrap for today's video. If you enjoyed what you saw and want to stay in the know about all things movies, make sure to hit that subscribe button and give us a thumbs up. Subscribing ensures you'll never miss out on our future updates. Thanks for tuning in, and we'll see you in the next one. And hey, don't forget, we love hearing your suggestions for future videos, so drop them in the comments below. Until next time.